The metaverse is a controversial topic. Some people really want it and they are excited about these technologies. And then other people have dystopic visions about what the metaverse could be. Things like the deep state tracking all of our data and people going into these virtual worlds and forgetting about the important things that we experience today in the real world. In this video, let's talk about some threats and let's talk about the problems with the Web2 metaverse, and then talk about more beautiful visions of the future metaverse with Web3 and an open metaverse. Let's get into it. So we ended with Matthew Ball's definition of the metaverse. He's a venture capitalist, and the last thing that he said here in defining the metaverse was very important in my opinion. He says that a metaverse requires continuity of data, such as identity, history, entitlements, objects, communications, and payments. Let's talk about this continuity because it's something that we already experience today to some extent. So my bank account, I bank with Fidelity, and I expect them to keep an up-to-date record of my account balance. They have a ledger centralized, but they do have a ledger of outgoing and incoming transactions, and my balance updates because of that. Instagram, when I log back in with my username and password, I see the posts that I have made. I still have the friends that I have followed, and so my data persists over time to some degree. And there are many other examples of this with messaging apps as well, right? iMessage, Telegram, these sorts of things. The problem right now with this continuity of data is that it's only to a certain extent. So right now I have to log into several different social media platforms to get access to all of my data. It's because these are walled gardens and are owned by different companies with competing financial incentives. So Meta owns Instagram, Twitter is owned actually now by Elon Musk, and also I have a LinkedIn profile as well. And these are all different profiles. They have different sets of data. I have different friends lists in each of these profiles. And it's because these are owned by individual companies that have competing interests with one another, and they want to protect their network effect. They do not want to allow users to very easily transport between these different social media protocols. Would be a threat to their financial revenue models. This same also goes for many other things. If I had two different bank accounts hosted in different banks, they wouldn't be interoperable with each other. The same goes for communications. I have my communications are spread across iMessage, Telegram, Discord, Instagram, direct messages. All of these are messaging applications, but I have different conversation threads, and so the history is broken up between these applications. And there are user experience issues with this kind of thing. I have to start from scratch every time I create a new social media profile that's offered by a new company. I have a different conversation thread spread across 4 or 5 different applications, and it makes it difficult to track everything in one single application. That would be so good if there was one application that tracked all of your messaging history and it had all of your contacts in it, and it wasn't broken up just based arbitrarily on these companies who produce these applications. This lack of interoperability, I think that I've already shown how it's harmful in some ways, but it's made especially clear by in-app purchases, especially on video games like Fortnite and Call of Duty, these kinds of things. So Fortnite is a free-to-play model. People can sign up and start playing for free and really enjoy the gameplay. Like there aren't purchases required in order to have a fun gameplay experience, but they do upsell users through cosmetic in-game items like skins, being able to have your character dance certain ways, and it comes with, this is somewhat of like a social status signaling thing, but also curating your identity on a game like Fortnite. The problem is that as I pay for these things in these games, these items, these digital items that I own, I don't actually own. I'm really just renting them from Fortnite. And if Fortnite were to shut down, for example, then all of my in-app purchases would disappear. My skins on Fortnite cannot be ported over and used on another similar video game. I don't know an example of this, but it could not be the case because these items only exist in this game. Now let's quickly talk about how blockchains can open the currently closed and permissioned Web2 metaverse. See, a metaverse built on decentralized Web3 technologies is inherently open. This means that the metaverse's content, the items that a user can own in a game or in a world, the economy and the payment system, they're built on Web3 tech. So the payments, they are cryptocurrencies. And as opposed to these non-interoperable payments in the current Web 2 world, we've got fiat currencies that are owned by different government regimes. And then we have also these in-game currencies that cannot be used in different worlds, like COD points cannot be used in Fortnite and V-Bucks cannot be used in Call of Duty. We instead have cryptocurrencies which have the ability to be used anywhere in any virtual world. These are open currencies. Also, going back to the Fortnite example, Fortnite, the skin that you bought, they can delete that anytime that they want. It is just an element in their centralized database, which they control. And so they could modify it, delete it, and if they go out of businesses, they turn their server down, you do not have access to your item. On the other hand, in the Web3 world, if you represent this Fortnite skin as an NFT on the blockchain, then you will always be able to access this NFT and its metadata. So you'll be able to render what that digital item looks like and its various characteristics. Any front end will be able to render that for you. And also, it will exist forever. It's immutable. So this is, in a real sense, how somebody can own this item if it's represented as an NFT. Another really great content piece that I recommend if you're interested in the open metaverse is it's Outlier Ventures. It's a VC firm, Outlier Ventures Metaverse OS. So Google that and you'll find this PDF, and it's really good for them explaining like their vision for the open metaverse and why they think it's better than a closed metaverse. And they talk about some constituents or some requirements for what is needed to build a Web3 metaverse. We have self-sovereign identity with decentralized identifiers and VCs. I've talked about that in a previous video. Decentralized cloud services like storage and compute. Again, talked about that in the other video. This is a personal data store where a user can actually self-control their application data as opposed to the application data being stored in a centralized database. We have decentralized governance, NFTs, sovereign virtual goods, and DeFi. Again, NFTs are going to come to represent many in-game items or in-world items. And in a real sense, users are going to be able to own that through the fact that they're an NFT. And DeFi, decentralized, permissionless payment and economics built on the blockchain. So this open metaverse is one that is enabled through blockchain technology. And that's what this channel is about, is exploring what Web3 and blockchain enables for us in the future. The open metaverse is one.